No one saw Odell Beckham Jr.'s historic rookie season coming, and many forget just how much controversy surrounded the wide receiver before he even stepped foot on an NFL field. Odell Beckham Jr. wasn't the first or even second wide receiver selected in the 2014 NFL Draft. Sammy Watkins was the first wide receiver off the board, going 4th overall to the Bills, while the Buccaneers selected Mike Evans 7th overall. Finally, with the 12th overall pick, the New York Giants selected Odell Beckham. However, things did not get off to a smooth start for Odell in New York. During spring OTAs, the rookie injured his hamstring. Then, on the first day of training camp, he re-injured it, resulting in him missing the majority of the preseason. I think people forget just how much negative speculation there was surrounding Odell during this period. We didn't know exactly what the injury was at the time. We didn't find that out till the season was over, and we'll get to that in a minute, but people were like, why is this first round pick missing weeks of practice with this mysterious hamstring injury? The situation seemed even more troubling when head coach Tom Coughlin was asked if he was disappointed with the first round pick's lingering injury and said this, quote, "It's more than that. We're trying to put a team together. We saw too much of that in the spring." He then added, "He's got some work to do, just like they all do." Then, when Beckham did finally return to practice in late August, he banged legs with a defender and was sidelined yet again. The team insisted he didn't re-injure his leg, but was sitting out because he was sore and they needed to be cautious. The mysterious hamstring injury continued to linger into the regular season. Odell didn't end up making his NFL debut till week 5. But as soon as the rookie wide receiver hit the field, any and all doubts about him vanished. In his first ever pro game versus the Falcons, Beckham had 44 receiving yards and hauled in the go-ahead touchdown in the 4th quarter. The following week, the most pivotal moment in Odell's career happened. And no, it's not the catch. Beckham actually had his worst performance of the season in this game that I'm talking about. But in this week 6 matchup with the Eagles, Odell was forced to step up. In the 3rd quarter, Giants star wide receiver Victor Cruz went down with a serious knee injury. I'm a Giants fan, by the way, and I remember I was like 13 or 14 when this happened, and I legit cried because I was so heartbroken seeing Cruz in so much pain. It was absolutely brutal to watch. The injury turned out to be a torn patella tendon, and now a huge piece of the Giants offense was out for the season. Just 2 games into his pro career, Odell had to become the Giants' #1 wide receiver. The following week, in the team's first game without Cruz, Odell had just 34 receiving yards, but also 2 touchdowns as New York lost by 10 versus Dallas. The big problem was the young wide receiver had barely any practices under his belt due to the injury. However, when week 9 arrived, him and Eli Manning were finally in sync. In his 4th NFL game, Odell broke 100 receiving yards for the first time after hauling in 8 catches for 156 yards in a Monday Night Football loss versus the Colts. The following week versus Seattle, Beckham had another 100-yard game and was beating one of the best corners in the league at the time, Richard Sherman, one-on-one. The week before the catch, Odell had this pretty amazing grab versus the 49ers, but he came up 7 yards shy of a 3rd consecutive 100-yard game in this one. Then, on Sunday Night Football, it happened. The catch. The night that changed Odell's life forever. I remember exactly where I was when it happened, but hold on. So a few weeks prior to the catch, I saw Odell was going to be having a public signing and meet and greet at a mall near my house. And I was super excited, like emotionally excited, when I realized I had a chance to meet my favorite player. At that time, I don't think I had ever met a professional athlete. My mom said we could go and meet him, and I was just ecstatic. Like, you guys don't understand. You know how there was Bieber fever and One Direction mania? I had Odell fever. He was my Justin Bieber as a kid. I mean, I was even Odell for Halloween that year. And remember, the catch happened after Halloween. Like, no one really knew who Odell was at that point. So back to the night of the catch, my family was sitting on the couch watching the game, and my sister was doing my hair. Why was she doing my hair? Well, I was going to meet Odell the next day. But little did I know that almost everyone in the country would turn into a huge OBJ fan within the next few minutes. The catch happens, and it was probably one of the first NFL moments to truly break the internet in real time. Remember, it was a Sunday night football game versus the Cowboys, so tons of people were watching. Everyone from Hall of Fame wide receivers to LeBron James and somehow Elizabeth Banks, you know, the actress who played that lady in the Hunger Games, was tweeting about it. The next day comes and I go to the mall for the Odell signing, along with what seemed like every other person and news outlet in New York. He wasn't even there yet and the place was absolutely packed. There were news cameras everywhere, ESPN was there, it was just absolute pandemonium. We legit had to wait in line for 2 hours till it was our turn to see him. But then, as we get to the front of the line, I start to feel, a little emotional, and I tell my mom, I think I'm gonna cry. And she's like, listen, we just waited in line for 2 hours. You better go up there and talk to him. So I go up there, I shake his hand, and I say this in the least weird way possible. His hands were huge. You know how the broadcasters are always talking about him wearing 2XL gloves and that's how he's able to make all these crazy catches? Well, they were right, because if I had hands that big, I would probably be able to make some pretty cool NFL catches too. But yeah, I was legit crying while I was talking to him. He was probably a little weirded out. He probably couldn't understand me too well because I was like, but I can't say enough nice things about him that day. He was super kind and super patient with me despite a million other things going on around him and his life literally just having changed overnight. Anyway, Odell's first game post the catch had a ton of cameras there to capture his pregame warm-up, which included him making a ton of one-handed catches. And this became a thing the rest of the season. People would come to the stadium early just to watch Odell make some crazy one-handed grabs pregame. A huge misconception I see about Beckham is that the catch is what made him and he's super overrated because of it. But that's actually the furthest thing from the truth, and I'm about to show you why. In the Giants' first game after the catch, Odell had a solid showing with 7 catches for 90 yards. However, the following week versus Tennessee, he hauled in 11 catches for 130 yards and a score. Oh, you think that's a good game? Well, his numbers actually only went up from here. The next game versus Washington, he had 12 catches for 143 yards and 3 touchdowns, which made him the first rookie in NFL history to have those stats in a single game. And by the way, the Giants weren't a good team in 2014. They were actually a pretty bad one. But this rookie wide receiver was single-handedly winning them games. No pun intended, you see what I did there? Single-handedly, like one-handed catch, single hand. In a Week 14 matchup versus the Rams, the rookie put on an even better performance, catching 8 passes for 148 yards and 2 scores. I mean, just look at him burn the defense. Things got chippy in this game too. OBJ, the new young star, clearly had a target on his back. In the Giants' final game of the season, Odell had the best game of his career thus far. Versus the Eagles, Beckham had 12 catches for 185 yards. Yes, 185 yards and a score. The Giants still lost the game, but what are those stats? How are those real numbers? Odell Beckham Jr. ended his rookie season with a total of 91 catches for 1,305 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns in just 12 games. He averaged 108 receiving yards per game, which led the league that season and is still, to this day, the rookie record for receiving yards per game. To understand how insane of a feat this is, only 2 other rookies in NFL history have averaged over 100 yards per game, and that was during the pre-Super Bowl era. The rookie with the second most receiving yards per game in the Super Bowl era is Justin Jefferson, who averaged 87 yards per game his first season in the league. What makes Beckham's rookie year even more insane is that he admitted after the Pro Bowl that he played the entire season with 2 tears in his hamstring. So yeah, that's the mysterious injury that was bothering him over the summer and through the start of the regular season. A lot of people say Randy Moss had the greatest rookie season ever. Yes, he had better stats than Odell, but he also played in 16 games and had a full training camp and preseason to learn the offense. What Odell did in just 12 games is historic, and I can't even imagine what his numbers would have looked like if he played a full 16 games, because as the season went on, his numbers just kept getting better and better. I mean, he had 185 receiving yards in the last game of the season. Also, a little side note here, I did meet Odell again later in his rookie season, and he actually remembered me and signed my jersey for free. So he signed the picture I paid for him to sign, and then he said turn around and sign my jersey for free, something you usually have to pay for. Super nice, super kind guy. Eli Manning was the Giants quarterback during Odell's rookie season, and if you want to know why he refused to play for the team that drafted him, check out this video here.